So after a chaotic race in Japan, which I finished a bit well after only trying to finish the race and it ended up being so few finishers that I finished last and still got points. We are in round number 4 in the BALAM League in Austria. This time I had a bit more preparation than the previous race, so I was having a bit more expectations. And so we begin qualifying, setting our tire locations into the balanced ones. So I have 2 mediums and only 2 softs. We begin qualifying with a time of 104.934 as our first time that we set in the session, which unfortunately was the fastest time we have set in this qualifying session, and unfortunate because it is not a good lap time. And even though when we set the lap time it was the fastest time, reality it was because we were like the only ones, first ones who set a lap time, and we quickly dropped down positions. But I knew that lap time that I've set was a bad one, and so I did 2 more attempts, just that these attempts were unsuccessful. Like the second one, in which I ran wide, exiting turn 6, and even though I completed the lap time and was validated, but because of the mistake, it didn't improve our lap time. And the third attempt, the final one, unfortunately, it was gonna improve my lap time, but by just a few hundredths of a second, and also it got invalidated because I ran a bit wide into the exit on turn 6, entering turn 7. And so we are starting down to P16, being the slowest driver to set a lap time in this session. So yeah, it wasn't a good thing for me, but let's hope we swap our luck in the race. But let's check some of the other drivers who set their lap times that were faster than me. For example, Ruby, who set a time of 103.72, and that was the time to get into pole position. Ternona qualified in second, being only 200ths of a second slower than Ruby. And meanwhile, my teammate Sebs qualified third. And we see that the top 4 was separated by less than a tenth, and the top 3 separated by less than 300. So it was a tight fight for pole position. But, well, we see that our SRX teammate Stark qualified in a distant 12th, and looks like it is pretty much invaded by Sky drivers. This league, like almost half of it, are from this esports team. But let's see if we can make a big comeback in the race. Although we set the slowest lap time, that doesn't mean we are going to start in last, because 3 other drivers didn't set a lap time. And so we are gonna begin this race in Austria. We are underway, and we are beginning with medium tires and with 52 kilograms of fuel, because I'm expecting lots of safety cars. And oh my god, looks like a Sexify ghosted in order to get field positions, and we're down to P18. That is not a start that I wanted to have. And we go around the outside into turn 3, overtaking Rocha, although we failed to do it, and we are almost wheel to wheel. We head into turn 4. We are about to overtake Rocha, and we do it down the inside into turn 4, and we almost spin Ricardito because we touched the rear right wheel of him, and we ran a bit wide. That means that Rocha might use that opportunity to get a bit close and overtake me. Something that happened beginning lap 3 because I did a bad exit into turn 1, and so Rocha overtook me with DRS, and I decided to re-overtake him down the inside into turn 3, and we are wheel to wheel. I have DRS, and looks like Rocha might also have DRS because we are behind everyone else in the lower field, and we almost pushed Rocha wide, and I think we indeed pushed him wide. We got a warning for a collision with him, and now we are pretty far behind these drivers, but still not behind enough to not get DRS. And ending this lap, looks like we are not having DRS, and that is such a bad thing. Fortunately, we did indeed have DRS because we almost were a second behind him. We were 9 tenths. We're beginning lap 4, and we are catching back to that low field, and we see that Ricardito almost spins, and I think he has a bit damaged his front wing, and maybe that is gonna hinder his chances to get up a few positions, and that might result in him getting overtaken by myself. And we see that he almost ran out of ERS despite him having DRS, and it is barely lap 4. We have 69% of battery, and we are about to overtake Ricardito heading into turn 6, and we see closely that no, he doesn't have damaged front wing, and he's completely fine, except that he doesn't have any ERS anymore. But instead of overtaking Ricardito heading into lap 5, we instead get overtaken by Rocha, and lots of drivers went wide, and we head into turn 3, having to re-overtake these drivers once again, and we head into turn 3, and Rocha almost spins, and that means that he slows down so much that I made contact, and that meant that I also slowed down so much, and now the gap is more than a second. Oh, no, that is such a bad thing, and fortunately I am getting a little bit closer, and maybe I can get DRS still. And beginning lap 8, some drivers lost positions, and now Rocha isn't the driver in front of me anymore, and I overtook the side, and we are up in P16, and we overtake Ricardito. We first went to the outside, but we switched to the inside, and we overtake down the inside into turn 3, but I was shooting so hard and I almost crashed into the Ferrari, and I spawned. No, that is such a messed up thing, and now it's ruined my race, and that's not a good thing. Well, hope there is a safety car, because being in P16, 4.9 seconds behind Ricardito, that is such an ugly thing, and I see that they are going pretty well in pace, and meanwhile I'm doing some mistakes, and that is such a terrible thing. That means that I might not get into the top 10. Oh, and by the way, ending this lap, we overtook both Rocha and Yuan, and you see the reasons. But then the laps of mystery came, and I was wandering in the low positions in the middle of nothing, but I got a few places, but it was because the drivers boxed, and Ruby got a 3-second time penalty, and that means that we get up into P10 with the penalty supply, but unfortunately it wasn't meant to be for that long, because at the end of this lap 16, we're boxing 4 hards. Our meters are getting worn out, and we are close to the halfway through the race. So gotta go 4 hards, and I decided to check how many track limit warnings do I have, and for now looks like I have only 1. a track limit warning that I got doing these laps of misery when doing these low positions. We got out of the pit lane, down to P17, almost getting overtaken by Chronico, and well, let's see if we can get back into the position that we were for boxing. Well, that might need the help of the safety car. And on lap 22, it arrived as a form of a virtual safety car. Nothing I wanted. And at the end of the BSC, I got the thing I wanted to have in this time. And that's a full course safety car. Chronico is out of the race and Goodman is out as well. And that might be the cause for the virtual safety car to be converted into a full course safety car. And so that means that the field is getting bunched up, and so my race is getting saved. We're gonna box for a set of mediums, and on lap 25 the safety car ends. But we need to get a little bit careful because we got another track limit warning a few laps ago, and so if we get one more track limit warning, we get a 3-second time penalty. And for now we are in P15, P14 with that penalties applied because Sosa has a 9-second time penalty. Well, 9 seconds of penalties accumulated, and Joan has 12 seconds. And with that, after we boxed, we stayed in P16, but it was because we are in last now. So yeah, we are the man who was in last place. But instead of being the end of lap 1, it's the end of lap 26. 25. We're on lap 26, and we are just waiting for them to mess it up and crash themselves so I can get up into the greater positions. But that means that I'll have to wait so many laps, so we gotta do some overtakes and go fast. And that's the thing that we are doing. And on lap 27, Ricardito is getting overtaken by myself, and we head into turn 9, and we are overtaking him before that corner, round the outside. And what a beautiful overtake that I have done. And although it wasn't a dramatic one, but it was like a smooth one. And the safety car got deployed once again, and that means that we're gonna box for softs now, because it is now 9 laps to go and Ruby is out of the race, and that might be the reason behind it. And we almost rear-end Chocoflan, and well, it's gonna be a full throttle sprint after this safety car. But unfortunately, we gotta be extremely careful now because we have a track limit left to have a 3-second time penalty, something that we don't want to get. Anyway, so we end safety car at the end of lap 30, and so it begins the 6th lap sprint. And it is such a decent relaunch that we are having. We stayed in P14, P15 is the last position, and we couldn't overtake Ricardito, and Juan is about to overtake us, and Ricardito is getting overtaken by myself, and we overtake him around the outside into turn 3, and we went wheel to wheel, and oh my god, Juan went down the inside and he overtook me. We are down to last position. We're the man who was in last place in the middle of lap 31, but that shouldn't mean like that. We cannot be in that position for the rest of the race. And on lap 33 we head into turn 4, and we see that Ricardito almost pushes Sosa wide, and we are almost about to overtake Sosa, and we head a little bit to the, oh my god, to the inside. I almost spin because of Sosa. But we are still in P15, last position, and oh my god, oh no, that is such an ugly thing. We got a 3-second time penalty, we did not go carefully, and now it is gonna be a little bit of a setback for our race. And oh no, we ran wide a little bit, And so we begin lap 34 down to the last, although it isn't as dead as it looks in reality, and John is in P14 with 18 seconds of penalties accumulated. We get the third 3, and there is a 3 wide, and John pushes everyone wide, and thank you very much. We are up into P12. That is gonna turn into P11 with the penalties applied, and Stuck is in P10. That is switching to P11 because they're fighting with Chocoplan for P10, and we head into turn 6, and we see that exiting that corner. Oh boy, we see that they both spawn. The 3 of them spawn because there was also has involved, and we get up into P9. The Shark is out of the race. That is such a chaotic lap. Everyone killing themselves, and because of that we got up into P9 just only by surviving, and we begin lap 35. The only mission is to maintain this position and finish the race in that position. John is out of the race, and after all of that misery of being in the low positions, and after these chaotic last laps, and I got up into P9, we're gonna finish with the potential of finishing a higher position than P9, and that is P7, and we did finish in that position after a few drivers got major penalties, higher penalties than us, and because of that we finished in P7 because of the penalties. So being careful with the track limits can be worth it. And meanwhile we see that Stark is finishing in dead last, that is P13, so there were that amount of finishers in this race. And even with coming back from P16, we didn't get driver of the day, and instead it is Rapis who gets the driver of the day, and it is because he won the race from P18 with the fastest lap of the race. So yeah, he did an extraordinary comeback. But wait, we see on the league's final race results, with all the penalties that got applied by the league stewards, we see that the times weren't modified and were maintained from the race results, from the game results. But we see that after applying these stewards penalties, I actually finished P4. Oh my god, that is such a miracle result that we've gotten from P16 all the way up into P4, and it is because the Ferrari of Chanona got a 10-second time penalty, and then failed, got a 20-second time penalty, and Matraca, who finished the P6, got a 10-second time penalty, and they got down to positions lower than P7, and that is how I got up into P4 with the stewards penalties from others. And after that race we get up into P8 with 42 points. Chanona is leading the championship with 107 points. There are no results from the constructor standings because they are pretty variable, because sometimes drivers get into different teams, and to make things a little bit simpler, they did not have a constructors championship. And so that is it, guys. Hope you have enjoyed this video, and if you have, please leave a like, and see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.